Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna exactly structure this together because it's a very loose idea right now. I was watching a press conference going on. I think it's with Congress. Let me pull it up. Watch live. Dems fume over Elon Musk's Doge team at House hearing. So it's a White House hearing. All the rest of that is just the headline for sensationalism, all that bullshit. But my idea is like the guy was just talking about it. We'll go back since it's still a live stream. I can.
That I've suggested in security because we're in a arms race in artificial intelligence with China, and we're going to have.
Oh, that's not the part. Because there's a deficit in the education system within the United States that we have to produce another arms race with China. I think I gotta keep going back because the part I wanted to get was in talking about the skill gap that's existing within the United States. It's like evidence of that is because of the number of H-1B visas that needed to be issued by highly technical industries, like where you should be able to just source that from local colleges. It's like kind of an idea of what I'm thinking about now. You just have competitions where you put your issue in front of curious kids and be like, solve this. It's like, why? And the reason I'm overreacting and having is because I can't imagine. Not everybody, no, not every human is as curious as the next one, but curiosity is a unique attribute of our species. So, if you have a technical issue like this, just as a lark, as a laugh, put it in front of kids. It's like it's one of those things where it's like children are the future. All that bullshit will actually come out with something that has some amount of truth to it, because you're not really trying to get them to embrace anything that's on an adult level. They're not really trying to go out in the world, build a business. It's a mock-up. So it's a game. Put it in front of them. I have to stop assuming that other people know exactly what I know. Okay. The reason I think it would be such a good idea is because it would cost, but part of it is already in place. There are open source college courses where the curriculum is available. The textbooks, the teaching material, that's all available. You just don't have an instructor in front of you. You can get a self-taught, self-paced technical education in anything STEM because it's all structured. None of it is up to your interpretation. Everything about it is binary. STEM is binary. So you can have an extensive database of every college course and just let people self-pace through it and have the local not colleges, the local government just upload whatever strategic structural issues that they happen to have. Anything related to STEM that's a current issue for the local government, just upload it to a database and let kids search them. Let them run the scenarios and the simulations. Let them answer those questions because it's all structured, and you want young minds dealing with hard questions, but then you let the solutions bubble to the top because you're not forcing them into it. You let their curiosity lend them to it, so that it's just as it comes about. Now, it's like you can have it more focused in a emergency situation like this, where you desperately need engineers and technical thinkers now. You can incentivize that kind of system, but as a long-term goal, open sourcing college courses, making it available digitally, making it available independent of what state you're in, and allowing each state to maintain their own database, but giving them a national database to have access to as a backup, or as like a checking a procedure, would be a way to help with the, what is it called? The skill issue that exists in, I think it's in all Western countries. I mean, population and skill issues with their local population, I think. Yeah, because he was going to say that. Let me see if I got that right.
process like this, and they brought in outside consultants because people on the outside can see things that those of us on the inside miss. So it's important that you bring in really the best that you can. In that regard, I really think that we're in another reinventing government phase, and in particular with education. There's a big debate right now going on about the number of H-1B visas that we need to have because we're having to import so many technical trained workers. I don't know if Iowa is experiencing some of this, but you probably have some folks who are educated overseas that are now working in engineering technically trained jobs. Would that be correct?
Yes.
I think the fact that we're having, Mr. Chairman, to bring so many people in who are engineers and scientists is indictment of the education system.
I agree.
We're not able to produce the number of technically trained people that we need to be competitive in our economy, but also in regard to our national security, because we're in a arms race in artificial intelligence with China, and we're going.
Not see, and then the one the one negative to my idea as a solution to what he's talking about would be the fact that it would not be U.S. exclusive. Because it's available online, even if you put it behind, as long as you make it available online, it will be accessible to anyone with intent. Once you put it online, you can't say that it's secure. No, absolutely 100% secure. The only way to make something secure 100% is to make it inaccessible 100%. So my idea doesn't work towards his idea in that he wants America to be competitive with their rivals like China. In my idea, China would have access to that database because it would just be a matter of time. Time and reverse engineering, because like let's say that we have a database, we make it available to our allies that is going to be dependent upon our security and their security, and then any pieces that they get along the way, because they could just get a piece from them, a piece from us, a piece from somebody else, and then reverse engineer it all together, or get those separate pieces. It'd be like 75% of a database that they need, and they just make up the rest of it. It's knowledge is binary, so you won't be behind forever. STEM is binary, so you won't be behind forever. You can have a knowledge base of completely fictitious bullshit. Like, not magic. I was going to say religion, and I think of it as magical, but besides the point. Yeah, got that line from it. So, did she respond, or I think... Yeah, because I got down the idea, because I think I do have, it's EDX. So there's already online courses that are just completely freely available if you have a mind to go through. So if they're going to be doing it on a state level, this could be a good opportunity just to, you can even have, not explorable views, explorable view, like Google Maps, like an explorable view of city infrastructure. And then where is it weak? Why is it weak? And then outsource the solutions. You would have to do a lot of testing. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I'm saying the access to prototypes and ideas is a matter of putting the curious with the documented. Like, you document all the issues that you know of, all the things that around the city that you can see that can be fixed, and just put it in front of people, because you know that we are a curious species. And people will just look into it. Some people are going to look into it for the fun of it. And that in and of itself means that you will have people that are going to look at it because they care. There's no guarantee of that one. I believe people will care. I like to say that. I think that's my whole idea. As EDX is one that is already online, as an example of an online college that's completely open source. Like the courses in the college, the courses inside the curriculum are open source, but the accreditation and the guided teaching are not. And this could be expanded with the idea that they're talking about having taking Doge and then putting it on a state level. So you'll go from the federal efficiency, trying to trim it over there, to trimming down state government. and in a way that you can do that and still have the public be not available, participating and helping out. And then also further reducing the size of the government because you're teaching people that they can do damn things. Shit, fuck it. It's my video. That you're teaching people that they can do that kind of shit for themselves. That self-governance is possible. That you can. It's a libertarian principle in it. Thinking about it more. Homesteading. Like, sovereignty up to your front door. Self-governance is possible. It's just very unlikely given the nature of people. People are more likely to cooperate. Especially on projects that are too big for one individual to take care of. Collective movement is beneficial in those moments. I think that's the full idea. And I'll just finish this out. Keep watching this and see if there's anything else.
Have to have a technically trained workforce. So one of the things that I've suggested in this effort in regard to the Department of Education is that we not completely dismantle it, Governor Reynolds, but maybe reimagine it as the Department of Workforce Development and block grant the money to the states with a heavy emphasis on STEM. Would you like to respond to that?
I would be very much in favor of that. In fact, we put a proposal together that we'll be submitting to the Department of Education. It gives states the flexibility. We already have a waiver process in place that we could utilize until they could actually get some of that realignment done. But like I said, hold us accountable. We'll meet those expectations, and we can do it at a lower cost.
We're going through, I think, an historic phase. There's a historic opportunity here. And I think about disruptive innovation. And I was talking to some folks today about this, and some of you may not be old enough to remember this, when Toyota introduced Corolla into the automobile market in the United States in the 70s. It forced U.S. automobile manufacturers not only to rethink what they were producing, but they literally retooled to do that. I think we're in a phase now where we're rethinking how government is run, and a lot of the innovation is coming from the state level, such as from Iowa. But I think that we're going to have to go through this phase, and it's disruptive. There's no question about it. But it's for our own good long term, and we need to be thinking 25, 30, 40 years down the road about how we do this, because we are at a point in
Here's the problem with that. It's not like I'm disagreeing. This crossed my mind as I'm seeing. I'm 40 myself. I don't know how this guy is. Thinking 40 years into the future from my own view, I ain't gonna be building shit at 80. If I'm still fucking around and thinking the same way I am right now at 80, So, why was I saying that? The world that you're building for the future is going to be one in which you don't exist. So it's going to have to be a thought. What did it say? Planting trees that will provide shade that you won't enjoy. And I don't. That's my point. I don't think that's on the Democratic side right now, as far as planning goes. I hear a lot of rhetoric about being the party of the people and working for the democratic greater good. I don't see a lot of how is the world going to look when I'm gone kind of talk. And politically, it is typically something that you see at the spread on people. It's like if you're an old Democrat, you're a fool. What did it say? Like if you're a young... No, what did it say about an old Republican? No, a young Republican. I thought that was an opposite to it. It's like what people tend to be Democratic in their younger years, Republican in their older years. Like they tend to be more like radically thinking younger years, and then more set and going about a pattern and a plan in their later years. So like typically they're more liberal, younger, conservative when older. So not really Democrat versus Republican, but it's more you're more liberally minded when you're younger, and you're more conservatively minded when you're older. Tend to be. And for the thing that they're structuring now, I would think that a liberally minded person would have the ideas, but as far as the why it will or will not work, that will be a more a matter of a conservative mindset. So, yeah, you need them both, but that's why I'm making the distinction. I don't really see much. Okay. I don't see much. I have to fix a mouse. Sorry for the dead air. I don't see much reaching across the aisle for the Democrats. So, at least for the loud ones. The loudest Democrats are not talking about or leading efforts for actual group. The only group effort I really see going on in the government is like status quo group effort, where I have no confidence that after you two work together to calm down these quiet times and the news and everybody stops paying attention, you don't go back to the same old fuckery you've been up to. I have no confidence in that. So yeah, back to the point. Old people have to. Not that old people have to have the idea that they need to be teaching that lesson that you're going to be building a world in which you don't enjoy the benefits of it. You need to keep that in mind. But I think that's going to be an important part of what they're building, is keeping in mind that what they are building, they are not going to enjoy the benefits of. Specifically because of what he was just talking about. The thinking 30 and 40 years ahead, one of the reasons of that is that to set the foundation of to set the foundation of what they actually want to build, something that will stand the test of time, improve the union, all that idealistic talk. If they're going to aim for that, it's going to need to be a half a decade to a decade long plan. Not decades, centuries, 40 years. Half a century to a full century as far as planning. And that has to be taken into account. I think I've already said it and